Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Telemedia Productions' progress of the Game of the Week. Thanks in part to our sponsors Comcast, El Paso Mexican Grill, Hank's Smokehouse, Harrisonburg Nissan, Jenkins Insurance, Massanutten Resort, May Supply, Medicap Pharmacy, Intelos, Office Products, Old Dominion Realty, Paul Obaugh Ford, Rockingham Memorial Hospital, Star Heating and Cooling, United Bank, and University Outpost. I am Jay Crawford, and I'm joined again on this beautiful Friday evening in Elkton, Virginia by Coach Jack Hale. And Coach, tonight we've got a good game. East Rockingham Eagles are hosting the Strasburg Rams. The Rams come in off a 34-0 win over Stonewall Jackson last week, while East Rockingham comes in with no record. They haven't played yet. They've had several weeks to get ready for this game. What do you expect to see out of these teams tonight?
Well, Jay, I think tonight's game is going to be really interesting. First of all, offensively, you've got sort of the old style, so to speak, wing T of East Rockingham. And then Strasburg is running out of the pistol, and they're going to move wide receivers around. They're going to throw a quick strike offense as opposed to East Rock. I think out of the wing T, they're going to be running the football and then running play action passes off their running fakes. So offensively, I think it's going to be a contrast, and I think it's going to be really interesting.
I think the offense at Strasburg is going to be very, very interesting. They've got two guys who've been playing together for a long time, Mark Smoot and Ryan Smoot. Mark Smoot, the senior quarterback, a left-hander, found his brother in the first score of the game last week in that 34-0 win over Stonewall. They'll look to hook up a lot because they'll move Ryan Smoot from wide receiver to the slot to tight end.
Yes. Smoot caught the first touchdown pass. It was a 12-yard TD reception on a slant pattern. And then the next TD in the first half by Strasburg was a 78-yard reception and run after catch to Trevin Howard. And then they ran a middle screen for the third touchdown, a 34-yard reception run to Colton Funk, their running back. So, you know, they've got some quick strike capabilities. We'll see what kind of defensive plan East Rock has for that.
And East Rockingham will open with a little bit of a quarterback controversy, Coach. They had a tight preseason battle between senior Timmy Sapp and sophomore Jalen McNair. And Coach came into tonight talking about perhaps splitting time between the two. In the wing T backfield, you'll have senior halfback Shannon Cross and Joey Marshburn and senior fullback Esteban Ramirez. And they will be joined on the wings by senior wide receiver Noah Brown and Raymond Simpson. So what do you expect to see out of that wing T this year?
Well, addressing the quarterback situation, the senior Timmy Sapp, as you said, will start. It'll be interesting to see, what the playing time is between Sapp and McNair. I think the one drawback to McNair is his height listed at 5'2", but since their play-action passing game, most of the time the quarterback's throwing on rollouts, that might not be a factor. Now, Noah Brown and Raymond Simpson, interesting, they were both all Shenandoah District last year, Jay, so that speaks to those young men's capabilities. I think the key is going to be how well will East Rock's offensive line be able to block. They've got 14 starters back from last year, which speaks well for their experience. But in a situation where they got an inexperienced quarterback, it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
And for tonight's game, we will be joined on the sideline by Bridget Condon, and we'll be back to hear about her conversations with the coaches right after these messages.
Break a little. Good job. Game on. you the neighbors got to say it past midnight?
You told us we're not the neighbors. When we told you the neighbors got a pony, a swimming pool, a dirt bike.
You told us
We're not the neighbors. But now the neighbors have truly unlimited data from Intellos, and everyone gets their own smartphone.
so. What do you say now?
More phones, more lines, and more data. Stand up and demand more. Act now and get 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text for just $45 a month plus zero down on all smartphones. And Telos, wireless for the people.
There's something to be said about honesty and loyalty, about commitment and trust. Yes, these are some of the traits that make a really great friend. And at United, we think they're also the traits that make a really great bank. It's how we've done business since 1839. Knowing names, knowing faces, knowing dreams. So while you're out there at work, at play, and at life, always know we're at your service. United Bank.
Introducing something new from Old Dominion. Our clients have loved our feature-rich mobile site for years. And now you can get all that info in an app. Search the way you like. Discover listings in new ways. From desktop to mobile, we've got you covered. And one more thing, we are the only company in the area to have access to 5 MLS systems. That means you'll get more listings and info here than anywhere else. Guaranteed. Old Dominion Realty. Now that's what you were looking for.
Jay Crawford and Jack Hale back at Elkton, where we are at East Rockingham High School, where tonight the Eagles are hosting the Strasburg Rams. And while they're playing the national anthem, we'll go down on the sidelines and hear from Bridget Condon, who had a chance to speak with Mark Roller and Coach Donnie Coleman. First, she'll lead off with Mark.
Really hard, and we're eager to get started here.
What's your biggest concern that you have about Strasburg?
Probably offensively, they're pretty balanced. They like to run and throw. They're pretty even, about 50-50. The two Smoot kids, we got to take what they do best, and that's what they do best is throw the ball, those two kids.
All right, back to you, Jay.
All right, thank you, Bridget. Now we've heard from Coach Mark Roller, who this year replaced Matt Heiserman, who's now the athletic director at Strasburg. And we go down on the sidelines and catch up with Bridget and East Rockingham head coach Donnie Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have coin toss, middle field.
Thank you, Jay. Now, Coach, you have an advantage already playing one game this season. What did you learn from your team last week, and what are you prepared to do better this week?
Well, usually you play in the first week and you have a lot of mistakes. Fortunately for us, we only have one mistake, and I think that's where you have an advantage. You don't have as many turnovers week 2. You try to cut those things down. So, I think that's the penalties and turnovers are the ones you work on.
And what is your biggest concern that you have about East Rock?
Well, I think their size. I mean, they're tremendous up front. They got some good speed on the outside. And so overall, they're a good football team.
All right, thank you. We'll be right back after these commercials with Coach Coleman.
Eugene went to Centera RMH to repair an old shoulder injury, and now he's back to his active life.
With my right shoulder injury prior to surgery, I was not able to do a lot of things I'd like to do. Now I can ride my bicycle, pick up my son, and not have to worry about my shoulder causing me pain. Dr. Muxel was able to repair my right shoulder with a minimally invasive approach so I'd have a quicker recovery. I feel that having my shoulder surgery at Centera RMH has improved my life.
No referral is needed, so visit rmhonline.com today.
Well, folks, it's official. Paul Loball Ford is the #1 select Ford dealer in the entire Washington, D.C. district, including the Valley, for the first half of 2014. All because you made the switch. To meet demand, we've decided to almost double our new car inventory for a bigger selection, which means bigger savings. Plus, free maintenance, including oil changes and tire rotations for the life of your bumper-to-bumper warranty on every new Ford sold. Only where the Valley makes the switch. Are you ready?
Logan Comer. Number 5, coached by Pete for the Rams. Noah St. Clair and Trevin Howard back as well.
We're going to try to spread it out a little bit and put the ball in the air.
Yes, I think for East Rockingham, it couldn't have happened any better than to be able to win the toss and defer.
And they did. East Rockingham win this game last year 21-0. The ball is off and we are underway, our first game of the week. Returned up the middle, a big hole. I can't tell who's got the ball.
Number 1.
Noah St. Clair has a return out to the 40-yard line. Right in the middle of the field, he found a big hole there and returned it. A nice return there of about 25 yards, Coach.
Really good field position to start off for Strasburg. You know, they're coming into the game with confidence after their victory last week. And, of course, East Rockingham sort of the unknown since they have not played. So here we go.
Smoot behind the center in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his left. A single back behind him. He'll look to put it up long early and simply overthrown
and
Nathan Butler, the intended receiver there.
See, 81.
Papoose Steed.
Yeah, Papoose Steed. I was talking to their coach, and that's not his given name, but that's what he's called. So I told their coach I thought that was all Virginia, one in the all Virginia name.
That's exactly right.
Papoose Steed.
Same formation here. The back has moved over to the quarterback's right this time. He doesn't look again. He'll go deep again. There's nobody out here, and he simply overthrew number 7, Trevin Howard. He was out here all alone, though, Coach. If that pass is complete, he's still running toward the end zone, you got to believe.
Right. They faked a quick screen, and then number 7 went straight down the field. East Rock's corner, took the fake and came running up. That was a wide open receiver, as you said, Jay.
3rd and 10 on the 40. Strasburg first possession of the game. Snap again to the quarterback in the shotgun. He gets it off to one of his upbacks, but he's brought down in the backfield. A large number of black shirts there in the backfield if we get a chance to see that.
Right, that's a screen pass to Justin Carr out here to the left, and East Rock was well prepared for it because they saw last week's game that Strasburg scored on a screen against Stonewall Jackson, so they were well prepared for that.
Colton Funk back to punt. He takes a nice snap, gets the kick away. It's an end-over-end kick. It'll bounce at the 35 and roll inside the 25, where it's finally downed at the 22, but they'll say that the kick team touched it first at the 25, and that's where East Rockingham will take over their first possession of this new season.
All right, the coverage man on the punt for Strasburg inadvertently touched the ball, and so let's see if East Rock doesn't try to establish a running game here, Jay.
Sapp steps up under center, the wing T backfield, the toss to number 3. That's Joey Marshburn. He heads around the left end and picks up about 5 yards to the 30-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 5, East Rockingham.
Those people who are watching that followed our games of the week last year, having seen at least Wilson Memorial along with East Rockingham and Turner Ashby run the wing T. So you're familiar that you can see how close the backs are to the quarterback and the line of scrimmage.
This time the ball's tossed to Shannon Cross. Cross finds more room, and he's out beyond the 40 to the 42-yard line, where it'll be 1st down, East Rockingham.
Yes, Justin Carr, number 37, on the tackle. Notice if you see a replay, if you're watching the game, the depth of the motion man will usually tell you if it's going to be an off tackle, a sweep, or something inside the tackle.
Toss again to Cross. This time he goes around the left end, and he's got another nice gain. He's beyond the sticks again. Looks like another 1st down. East Rockingham, it'll be into Strasburg territory at the 48-yard line. No, they'll call it 2nd down and a couple of inches.
Wow.
I don't know how you can see that without having to bring the sticks out, Coach. That's very, very close.
Right, I thought sure he was a couple yards past the 1st down marker, but nonetheless, 2nd and short.
This time just a quick toss sweep. That's number 3. That's Joey Marshburn again, and he's out around the right end, and he's down inside the 40-yard line to about the 37, and that will be another East Rockingham 1st down.
Here's another quick toss. You can see that he faked the defender, and he definitely got a 1st down that time.
He definitely did. Easy to see on that Jenkins Insurance replay. East Rockingham back now again with a tight wing T formation. The toss again goes to Marshburn. He's going to be wrestled to the ground this time, though, by a gang of white jerseys from Strasburg.
Yeah, number 85, Ryan Smoot, the tight end wide receiver. He penetrated and broke up the blocking wedge and made a really good play on that one for a loss of 1.
2nd and 11. East Rockingham still in the wing T. Not as tight as they are at some points. Quarterback drops to throw. He's looking down the right sideline. He's got a man out there. It's number 5, Raymond Simpson, and Simpson is wrestled out of bounds inside the 15-yard line down to about the 11.
Yeah, number 81, Papu Steed, was the defender who saved a touchdown right there, Jay. I'm not sure if Strasburg was caught by surprise there or not. It did not appear that Simpson was covered from the very beginning.
No, he was unmarked off the line. I think you're right. Here they come again. The toss this time to Shannon Cross. He goes right up the middle, moves the pile for maybe a couple of yards. He's inside the 10 down to about the 8-yard line. 2nd and 7 now for the Eagles.
You know, while the officials are taking a timeout, you know, East Rockingham comes in with 7 seniors in the starting lineup, and several of those up front. Plus, they have a transfer from Spotswood, number 70 at left tackle, that weighs in about 330 pounds.
Big boy.
Yes.
This time a toss sweep. Cross again on the carry. He gets down inside the 5, just inside the 5, where it'll be third and about 3, maybe 4 yards, we'll call it.
I'm sure the Strasburg coaches up in the press box will be talking about the formations that East Rock's lining up, because when they line up, they're almost telling you, where they're going to run the ball. If, their backs are deep, they're going to go off tackle or on a quick toss.
Flags that time with the snap. Usually that indicates an offensive penalty. We'll have to see, Coach.
All right. I suspect we'll get an illegal procedure. Wow.
Offsides.
Well, that, penalties like that, on third down, that would have been, you got third and about 2. That was a 3rd and 7. And now just an alignment penalty, that's sort of a killer when you're trying to, stop your opponent inside the 10-yard line.
Yep. Leaves them with third and now very short, very makeable, 1 or 2, 1.5 yards.
I think he's
Cross
in there.
this time takes the handoff coming right. He breaks a couple of tackles and falls backwards into the end zone. So Shannon Cross gets the first score of the year for East Rockingham, and with 6:46 remaining here in the first quarter, it's East Rockingham 6, Strasburg nothing.
That was a really good effort by Cross, because there were 2 or 3 defenders that met him at about the 2-yard line.
Jenkins Insurance replay, and the kick is up and good. 6:46 remaining here in the first quarter. East Rockingham leads visiting Strasburg 7-0. And Coach, are you surprised by anything on that first drive?
Not really. It appears early that East Rock has taken advantage of their quickness, of their backs out of their offensive set by, running those quick tosses. And we'll see if Strasburg makes an adjustment here the next time that East Rock gets the ball.
They'll have to do something. They moved backwards on offense 2 yards, and then East Rockingham pretty much just walked the ball right down the field on them. So have to see what adjustments they come up with there.
Now, Strasburg had great field position to start their initial drive, and then they had a touchdown and a blown coverage on that fake screen, and just couldn't, overthrew the receiver. That's, when you got a receiver open, the last thing you want to do is overthrow him. Even if you're a little short, he can come back and get it.
You're exactly right, Coach. Waiting on the ball now for the kickoff. Finally, it's delivered to the kicker, who is number 9, Logan Comer from East Rockingham. And we are back underway. The kick this time to the 20-yard line, fumbled.
He got it back. Then he got it back, and then it was knocked out of bounds, so it's going to be Strasburg's ball, I believe, Jay.
The ball did go out of bounds. Did appear to be recovered by the Rams, however. They'll take control here at their own. Looks like they're marking them out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Nope, they're marking it right on the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 Strasburg as we get a look on the Jenkins Insurance replay.
Well, number 1 for Strasburg had the ball, and then East Rock people came in and hit him, and it went out of bounds, last possessed by Strasburg.
Formation we haven't seen. There goes Ryan Smoot in motion. Mike Smoot takes the handoff, or takes the snap, gives the handoff right up the middle. Not much room there for the running back.
Number 37, I believe, was the ball carrier.
Justin Carr.
Yeah. That's the first running play for Strasburg after their initial series, 3 straight passes and a punt.
And we've got a flag on the play. The referee's talking to the captain of East Rockingham. They are going to mark it off.
Wow. All right. So there's a penalty.
Illegal shift
Yeah.
against Strasburg. They'll repeat first down, so it'll be 1st and 15 now at the 24-yard line.
Well, they had a 5-yard penalty on defense that made a 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 2. Now they maybe gained 1 yard, but now here they are back 1st and 15. They're not getting off to a very good start.
Snap that time to Smoot. Smoot, the quick toss out to his right. Running back again, brought down just about the line of scrimmage. Maybe have lost another yard.
It's a really good play by a defensive lineman for East Rockingham.
Sticks didn't move at all, so it'll be 2nd and 15 now. Strasburg again breaking huddle. Smoot remains in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left near us. A single back to his right. Brings 1 man in motion. The snap, he looks left, he throws deep down the sideline. Number 1, Noah St. Clair out there. He can't come up with it. Ball goes just off of his fingertips, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 15.
All right, folks, a chance to make some noise now. 3rd and 15.
I think initially what we're seeing is St. Clair is their go-to guy on long passes, and we have yet to see them try to get the ball to number 85, Ryan Smoot. Although this might be the time. Instead of a tight end, they're splitting him out all by himself out here, Jay.
He is finally picked up, another man in motion. That'll put 2 receivers to either side. East Rockingham appears to be in man-for-man. They are in man-for-man coverage. The pass does come to Smoot, but he catches it on his knees at the 25-yard line, and that won't be near enough. Gain of only 2 for Ryan Smoot. Pass from his brother. So it'll bring up 4th down and about 14 now for Strasburg.
You can see that Mark Smoot was under duress there. He got flushed and rolled to the side of his intended receiver.
Jenkins Insurance replay again. You see the pressure that coach was talking about, and you see the sliding catch on his knees by his brother, Ryan. The punt again bounces and gets a nice roll. This one will roll dead at about the 25-yard line, just about the same spot that the first punt ended. So East Rockingham will take over again at their own 25-yard line. 1st and 10 with 4:31 remaining here in the first quarter. They already lead the visiting Strasburg Rams 7-0.
Look how tight
Tight wing T formation, East Rockingham, back at East Rockingham High School, where the Eagles already lead the visiting Strasburg Rams 7-0. The give that time appeared to be Marshburn.
Number
McDonald on the tackle that time. Gain of about 3 yards out to the 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Again, the viewers can look for the formation of the running backs in East Rock's set. Look how tight they are.
Has been indicative of the play call. 85 that time. Looked like Ryan Smoot a little early to get started.
Should be defensive encroachment.
It is indeed.
There again, there's the 3rd 5-yard penalty that has either increased or reduced the yardage in favor of East Rock and against Strasburg.
Second in either very short 3 or a long 2, Coach. What do you prefer here?
I'd say long 2.
Handoff comes to Cross, who was trying to work his way from left to right, and he's met in the backfield. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
That very well may have been the same play that he scored on the first touchdown.
Could have been
Jay.
very easily.
And that time Strasburg's defensive front was ready for it.
Strasburg set now for third, forced to 3rd and 1. Let's see what East Rockingham comes up with here.
Maybe a quick
There
pitch
you
again.
see the difference again in that wing T. 2 backs behind the quarterback this time.
Maybe a quick pitch again. Nope.
Hand off to the
Straight dive.
fullback. And a good line surge out to the 40-yard line, a pickup of about 6 yards.
I think that was Esteban Ramirez.
That Ramirez on the carry that time?
Believe it was. Number 2.
He's got another first down. Clock continues to run. As you see the Jenkins Insurance replay there, we're down to 2:40 and counting here in the first quarter. East Rockingham on an absolutely gorgeous Friday night, Coach.
Oh.
Spectacular views here at East Rockingham, too. This time you got a full house backfield.
Looked like
Ball goes to the deep back, but he's not going to get anywhere. Maybe a half a yard they're going to give him credit for.
that may have been the old power eye right there, Jay. Appeared to maybe have been that, but good job by Strasburg's defense there.
2nd and 10. East Rockingham breaks a huddle. Still Timmy Sapp behind the quarterback. Tight wing T. He'll fake the handoff, drop back. He's got a man down the middle of the field. He throws for him, and it goes right through his hands.
22.
Trevin Howard was back there defending, but it looked like Shannon Cross had worked his way right down the middle of the field.
That was really
And it did, went right through his hands after Howard took a swing at it. So it'll be 3rd and 10 now for the East Rockingham Eagles.
Well executed play action pass, and it gave Cross time to get down the field. It was really it's a pretty well thrown ball there.
Uh-oh, this time the pass is broke back. Number 5 running through tacklers now. Breaking tackles down inside the 35-yard line, down close to the 30-yard line.
Here's
They'll mark him down at the 31. Here's your Jenkins Insurance replay.
See the linemen get out there, and they didn't have to knock anybody down. They just screened the defenders. And there, the ball carrier broke 2 tackles.
Raymond Simpson did the rest, bringing the ball all the way back from about the numbers on the left-hand side of the field all the way back to the right. He's down to the 31-yard line of Strasburg, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles, who are again in that wing T formation, 2 receivers out, 1 to each side. Pass again, this time overthrown.
That was intended for Noah Brown, number 19 that time. He's one of the 2 All-Shenandoah District receivers. He, along with number 5, Raymond Simpson. 2 really fine receivers that East Rockingham has.
We got a face mask penalty against East Rockingham. I'm not sure.
Wow.
That's thrown down inside the 10 or down inside the 20-yard line at about the 15. So I don't know what you. Oh, there it is.
Oh, it's wow. That's your Jenkins replay showed you the penalty after Brown missed the ball. He reached around and I would think inadvertently grabbed the face mask of the Strasburg defender.
That's 15 from the line of scrimmage, so that'll bring it all the way back out to the 46-yard line now.
Right. Number 7, for Strasburg was the defender, and I think just his head and face mask just got in the way of
I think you're right, Coach.
Brown's hand.
First and 25. That may change the approach here of the East Rock Eagles, and they're going shotgun now. 3 receivers to the left side, 1 here to the right.
Look for a
He
screen
takes a snap
again.
and throws that screen pass. This time it's well defended. White jerseys out there, and the ball falls helplessly to the grass, so it'll be 2nd and 25 now for East Rockingham.
Yeah, Justin Carr for Strasburg, number 37, was right in the middle. He was right there, right beside of Simpson when the ball arrived. I can't recall having seen a face mask penalty like the one we just saw.
No, I
Jay.
can't either. That was pretty gruesome. This time it's a middle screen to number 2. That's Esteban Ramirez. He picks up most of the penalty yardage and gets back close to the line of scrimmage. He's going to be marked down at about the 33-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and about 12, let's call it. East Rockingham. They got some of the distance back there.
Yeah, there's your Jenkins replay, and you see Ramirez on the catch and a fine run there.
Shotgun formation again, 3 receivers to the left. He takes a snap, looks left, throws back to his right. The ball is caught. Cross with the reception, knocked out of bounds at the 22-yard line, and that should be just about a yard shy. So it'll be 4th and 1, and it'll be interesting to see here what Coach Donnie Coleman wants to do here early in the game.
Your Jenkins replay, you just saw the reception, and number 33, Colton Funk, made a nice tackle on that. So
East Rockingham going to go for it. They've got 1 wing back on the right side, two split backs behind the quarterback. The give is to the up back, and he didn't make it, but flags fly before the snap.
Well, that was Ryan Smoot in the backfield. I just wonder if he got across the neutral zone before the snap. But the number 85, Ryan Smoot, was in the backfield, and he came all the way from the other side to stack up cross. They're going to pick the flag up, Jay.
They wave it off, and the runner was stopped before he got to the line, so Strasburg's defense does hold, and here you get another look.
There it is. You see 85, he came in and submarined the legs of cross number 22.
85, and then 44, Zach McDonald finished him off.
That was a real fine play, and
nice defensive stand for the Rams, and they take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line. So a loss of about 1 on the play there. Three backs in the backfield, single receiver to either side. Handoff goes up the middle, and he is hit immediately and driven back. I'm not sure he got back to the line of scrimmage again. This East Rock defense looks for real, Coach.
Number 62 for East Rock. You see the replay, and 76 is there, and 62 makes a tackle, and that's Poppy Veliz. His full given name is Gerald Rivera Veliz, but he's got a nickname sort of like the DH for the Boston Red Sox, Poppy.
That's exactly right. And we are at the end of the first quarter. Our scoreboard Comcast supporting your home and business. We'll be back after these messages.
of what your family wants from Entelos Wireless. Now share 10 gigs of data, unlimited talk and text on 4 lines for just $140 a month. Want even more? How about zero down on all smartphones? We'll even buy out your contract.
Back in Elkton, Virginia at East Rockingham High School. Strasburg still trying to move the ball. This time the quarterback, Matt Smoot, goes to his left.
33.
Colton Funk on the reception. He gets down the left sideline out to the 27-yard line. That's a pickup of about 6 yards, where it'll be 3rd and 5 now for the Rams. And, Coach, after an opening drive, both teams settled in and seemed to play a little bit tougher there. But the East Rockingham defense, you talk about leading these guys, winning the line of scrimmage here for East Rockingham early in this game.
Right. That pass was a little swing pass to Funk, trying to take advantage of East Rock's penetration on the defensive line.
Play action pass, this time complete out to the 30-yard line. Catch made by number 81, Papoose Steed, and he's got the Rams.
I think the timing was thrown off a little bit on that play. Mark Smoot sort of collided with the running back on his fake, and may have kept him from getting the ball out a little quicker than it did before the reception.
Got to wonder, too, if the receiver ran the route long enough, he didn't even get beyond the sticks. So Strasburg again in punt formation, 2 men back this time, 1 to guard either sideline.
Comer.
The kick comes to Comer, who takes a step, makes a couple of people miss, then cuts back to his right. The sideline is wide open if he's got the speed to get there. He stops, cuts inside of another 2 tacklers. He's down inside the 30-yard line. Looks like he'll be marked down at about the 29. A nice return there for number 9, Logan Comer.
Just a sophomore. Comer.
Here you see on the Jenkins Insurance replay, started down the left sideline, didn't find a lot of room. Rolled back to his right, got behind Raymond Simpson. Simpson couldn't even lead him down the field because Logan Comer ran past him to get to the sideline and got a first down. Great field position now for East Rockingham.
Some of you early in that replay might have seen number 40 for East Rock, Dylan Snyder. I mean, he had a crushing block to help Comer get outside.
The time the toss comes to Joey Marshburn, who's trying to get outside wide on the left side. Brought down by a gang of tacklers at the 25-yard line. It's a pickup of about 4, so it'll be 2nd and 6 for East Rockingham as you look at the Jenkins Insurance replay.
On that replay, number 37, Justin Carr, when the ball carrier cut back, he was right there. That was a textbook tackle by number 37, Justin Carr.
East Rockingham again in that tight formation. Still Timmy Sapp behind the center. This time the toss goes to Cross. Cross gets down inside the 20-yard line to about the 19. Depending on the spot, that may or may not be enough for the first down.
It's sort of interesting, Jay, that we have not yet seen the number 2 quarterback who was supposed to split time, number 7, Jalen McNair. So I think that equal time, at least in this half, has sort of been for the moment abandoned, unless we see him in the second half.
Yeah, we may see him second half depending on what happens here, but it has been Timmy Sapp all the way so far for East Rockingham. They just saw the official make in motion. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 chain links for the first down here for East Rockingham. They've got great field position. I'm sure Coach Donnie Coleman will not be happy if they come away empty here.
as we get ready for this play, I think what we've seen is East Rockingham's success in getting the ball to their backs and receivers out in space.
I think you're right, Coach. Strasburg may have seen that as well. The coaches call a timeout here, 3rd and short, and we'll be back to find out what the East Rock call is right after this message.
Need more from your wireless relationship? Maybe it's time to start a new one. Switch to Intellos Wireless and get 10 gigs of data and unlimited talk and text for just $45 a month. Yes, more data, more value. Plus, get 0 down on all smartphones, and we'll even buy out your contract up to $350 per line. It's 10 gigs of data and unlimited talk and text for only $45 a month. Stand up and demand more. Intellos, wireless for the people.
There's something to be said about honesty and loyalty, about commitment and trust. Yes, these are some of the traits that make a really great friend. And at United, we think they're also the traits that make a really great bank. It's how we've done business since 1839. Knowing names, knowing faces, knowing dreams. So while you're out there at work, at play, and at life, always know we're at your service. United Bank.
There you see a beautiful shot. Great work, guys. Great work by camera guys. Again, Massanutten Resort, your Four Seasons resort, one of our scoreboard sponsors. We are back at East Rockingham where the Eagles lead the Strasburg Rams. It was 7-0 when I started that sentence. It's going to be 13-0 now. Number 2, Esteban Ramirez took the handoff, ran off the left side of the line.
Here's your
here
replay.
you see the Jenkins replay. What happened here, Coach?
Well, initially he's just trying to get the first down, and then he bounces off bodies to the outside and just flat runs over the defender to goal line. I think certainly a key for East Rock and is the ability of Ramirez to do just this, because obviously they're excuse me, while I was talking, East Rock tried to go for 2, Jay. They lined up in their muddle huddle spread on the extra point attempt, and sometimes they'll wave it off and come back in and take their conventional formation and kick an extra point. But obviously they saw something there that they had an advantage over here to the left, but it didn't work.
Turned out the advantage wasn't as great as they thought it was.
Right, right. And they pulled a quick one on us, Jay.
8:57 remaining here in the second quarter. 13-0 East Rockingham over visiting Strasburg. East Rockingham preparing to kick off again here. And again, that'll be Logan Comer. Not often you see a kick returner in charge of doing the kickoff duties as well, but that's what you've got here. Comer waiting to get the ball from the official.
As folks can see here, Comer's left-footed. We got a left-footed kicker for East Rock and a left-handed passer for Strasburg.
Little pooch kick this time, bounces at about the 27-yard line, picked up, looked like by Sinclair. St. Clair out to the 28-yard line. See, he may have got one, dodged one guy, and maybe picked up a yard. 1st and 10 Strasburg from their own 28-yard line. Field position's been a little bit different for these clubs here tonight, huh, Coach?
Yes, with the exception of the opening kickoff where Strasburg had the ball, at the 40 or thereabouts. They've been in the hole ever since.
They're backed up at their own 28 now. The snap goes past the quarterback. There's a scramble for
East
it. East
Rock got it.
Rockingham looks like they came up with it, and they did.
Number 14.
Hurt Jared or Jared Hurt?
Jared Hurt. There's the missed handoff, and Hurt just knocked the quarterback, Smoot, right out of the way and took it. And a very aggressive play. You can see from this level on our Jenkins replay, and although you can't see the ball, you can definitely see when Hurt comes out of there holding the ball over his head.
East rocking that tight wing tee again. Cross goes in motion. The toss goes to him. He takes it to the right side, breaks it back up the middle, and he's in for a touchdown. So just like that, 14-yard touchdown run by Shannon Cross, and all of a sudden it's 19-0 now, East Rockingham. 8:36 remaining here in the first half.
You can see that you had two linemen that pulled on that play, and including the interference was a quarterback. So you had 3 lead blockers, and it was all set up by the play you've just seen when Jared Hurt recovered the missnapped by Strasburg and their quarterback. Looks like they're going to go for 2, Jay.
East Rockingham is going to go for 2. They're not even looking at the muddle huddle this time. Split backs. He sends Cross in motion. The toss goes out to him, and he throws an option pass. It is complete for the 2-point conversion. So Cross,
Noah Brown,
throws to Noah Brown for the 2-point conversion, and with 8:36 remaining here in the first half, it is East Rockingham 21, Strasburg nothing.
You know, the Strasburg defender was right there with Brown, but right at the last second, Brown jumped up and got separation and, made the reception for 2 points. So, right now Strasburg's reeling, Jay. I bet that fumble and touchdown took place in less than a minute.
8:57 was Ramirez's 19-yard touchdown run, and 8:36 was Shannon Cross's 14-yard touchdown run, so it was actually less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, in real time, yes, and I think Strasburg's really reeling right here. That fumble recovery, they were still in a state of shock, and when Cross crossed the goal line.
Logan Comer takes the ball from the official, prepares to kick off again. Yeah, Strasburg needs to have an answer here. This thing could get out of hand before halftime. We're already at the final score. Last year, East Rockingham beat Strasburg 21-0. This time it's a deep kickoff. The returner retreats back to about the 5-yard line, brings us out to about the 21. He's wrestled out of bounds at about, that's where they'll mark him, the 21-yard line.
That was actually very, very good coverage on the kickoff by East Rockingham. I think they had 2 players just stonewalled him right at the line of scrimmage at the 21.
Smoot this time with two backs beside him. This time he hands the ball off. A gang of black shirts waiting at about the 21, 22-yard line, so not much there for the running back. Looked like Colton Funk on the carry. He didn't get much, maybe picked up a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 9 now for the Rams.
All right. Both running backs for Strasburg are wearing 30 jerseys, 37 and 33, so sometimes in a crowd it's difficult to see who it was. But East Rock's defensive front is winning the line of scrimmage right now.
This time the fake handoff, the play action pass down the sideline. It is complete to number 1. That's Noah St. Clair finally with a reception out here. He's down to the 49-yard line of East Rockingham.
You're going to see the replay here. You know, it looks like East Rock defender is going to reach across and knock the ball out of the intended receiver's hand. That was a great reception by number 1.
Great concentration and great work by the camera guys. It looked like he threw it right in your living room, folks.
Right, right.
Rams back up to the line of scrimmage, single receivers to either side.
Now here's Smoot split out.
Now they split out Smoot. 3 receivers now to the right side.
Draw
play up the middle. Several tackles broken in the backfield. The ball comes out, however, and again the turnover is going to go to East Rockingham.
Number 17, Tyler Berry, recovered. It was a really good effort by the running back on this draw.
Unfortunately, kept fighting for yardage, and that enabled the defense to get more hits on him, and he eventually coughed it up. 1st and 10, East Rockingham on the 42-yard line now. Tight wing T. Still Timmy Sapp at the quarterback. This time he's looking down the sideline for Simpson. This time the ball's overthrown. Raymond Simpson out there sprinting down the left sideline. The ball's overthrown and out of bounds.
They were trying to, after a turnover, hit the big play. You know, right now, Strasburg's got what I call hee-haw luck. If it weren't for bad luck, they'd
have no luck at all. You might be right.
But East Rockingham is making their own luck because they're being alert and stripping the ball.
This time everybody's on the line of scrimmage, and the toss goes to look like Cross.
Yeah,
he picks up maybe 3 yards out to about the 45, and it'll be 3rd down and about 7 for the Eagles.
Yeah, that play, mentioned it earlier, they're pulling the left guard and the left tackle. By the way, the left tackle is a transfer from Spotswood, about 330 pounds, and the quarterback is also helping the lead block on that play as well.
This time he's in shotgun, 3 wide out to his right. Quarterback scrambles out of the pocket, gets out to about the 48-yard line. That's Jalen McNair finally in the game, who we've seen Timmy Sapp, for East Rockingham up until this point. And now we are seeing Jalen McNair. He's forced to scramble, but it still leaves East Rockingham with a 4th and about 3, maybe even 4 yards to go, and they'll go back into punt formation. 6:05 and counting here before the half. Punt's a great kick off of returner's fingertips at the 10. He scrambles back to pick it up at the 5, starts out around the left side, and it will be pushed out of bounds at about the 15-yard line.
Number 5 for Strasburg.
Cody Price.
On the return.
Had the ball go off his fingertips, retreated to pick it up at the 5, and got out to about the 15-yard line. So about a 5-yard return there after he picked it up from the 5. You can't give him credit for that because it went off his fingertips at the 10. 5:47. Strasburg are already trailing 21-0. Trying to get something started. They go into the half here. 5:47 left in this first half at East Rockingham. Single back, the handoff goes to that single back. He breaks it out to the left sideline and is out around.
It's Colton Funk.
Funk, who found a lot of yardage. He's out to almost the 30. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 29-yard line on that far side. So it's a nice carry there for Funk.
Right. Number 76 for Strasburg had a good lead block, and then Funk broke off that block to the outside.
Raymond Simpson eventually pushed him out of bounds, as you saw there on the Jenkins Insurance replay. 2 backs again behind Smoot, Mark Smoot, that is.
Reverse.
Here's a reverse. He's got room, too. He's got another first down. He's out beyond the 45-yard line. They'll mark him at the 45-yard line.
Number 7 on the reverse for Strasburg. Well-conceived play.
Trevin Howard, a wide receiver, a junior wide out, came back and picked that up and ran it down the right side, picked up a nice gain out to the 45-yard line. Strasburg's got a little something going here, Coach.
Yes. Now, if they could go down and put some points to the board, it would really give them some momentum, much-needed momentum going in at halftime.
Handoff up the middle, and a huge hole that time. Somebody missed something because there goes Funk, and he's down inside the 30.
Well,
down at about the 20.
You see the Jenkins
29-yard lines where they're marking him. So these guys have found something now, made some adjustments, and they found some stuff that's working now against this East Rockingham defense.
He was into the secondary before East Rock realized it. He stepped out of the tackle by Simpson, and so with just under 5 minutes to go, they got a real good shot to score here, Jay, if they don't shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they've had some penalties early in the game that hurt them, and this time they're going to take a timeout, I think, and talk about it. Don't want to waste this opportunity. So with 4:42 remaining here in the first half, East Rockingham 21, Strasburg nothing. We'll be back with the remainder of the first half right after this break.
What do all these people have in common? Potential home buyers. So whether you're a first-time home buyer or an experienced one, let Old Dominion Realty help you with your real estate needs. Old Dominion Realty, built on integrity with proven results. Contact us at odrva.com or call 1-800-296-2455.
We provide excellent care here at Centera RMH Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, from the initial injury all the way through rehab, and it's all right here in the local community. What I love about my job is the fact that I can get people functioning better and back to the activities they like to do. It's about patient-centered care, and the goal from the nursing staff to the physicians to the rehab staff is focused on helping out people and getting them better.
No referral is needed, so visit rmhonline.com today.
We are back at East Rockingham High School here in Elkton, Virginia. Strasburg on a drive, 4:42 remaining in half. Mark Smoot sends his brother Ryan in motion, drops back, looks his way, but throws down the sideline. The ball is
intended for number 1.
Knocked around, knocked down that time, incomplete. Number 1, Noah St. Clair, the intended receiver, senior wideout, simply ran down the sideline. Looked like a 9 route, Coach. Some people call that a go. We'll take a look here at the Jenkins Insurance replay.
All right, you see the receiver, and number 3 came in there, and there was a collision as the ball arrived at the receiver, and as a good play by, I believe his name's Joey Marshburn.
Yep, sure is, Coach. You're right on it. Smoot again sends his brother in motion. The handoff this time up the middle. Again, he's got a blocker right in front of him. Gang tackled, though, at about the 26-yard line.
That was Funk again. That probably was the same play that he broke the big one just earlier.
He picked up about 4 yards they'll give him credit for. It'll be third and about 6.
We're definitely in the 4-down territory, 4-down time situation here. Strasburg's almost a must here for them to get back into the game at this point. And now they're taking a timeout.
Gone under 4 minutes, and at 3:57, Strasburg trails East Rockingham 21-0. They'll take a timeout, and we'll take it with them. We'll be back right after this.
Want something you can use now? Well, at Paul Obal Ford, we've almost doubled our inventory so that you can find the new Ford that you're looking for today. Want something you can use for the entire life of the bumper-to-bumper warranty? Well, how about free maintenance? That's right. Paul Obal will give you free maintenance on your new Ford for the life of your bumper-to-bumper warranty. Free oil changes, tire rotations, plus all this. Just one more reason to make the switch to Paul Obal Ford. Are you ready?
We're just back into action. You see Mark Smoot taking it back. He's found his brother. Ryan Smoot gets into the end zone just in time. We got back just as Strasburg snapped the ball. And Mark Smoot throws the ball deep down the left sideline to his brother Ryan. Ryan runs over a tackler.
He was open, and what an effort there by Ryan Smoot. You know, the chemistry obviously in the passing game between these two brothers was a factor the first week, and it was on that play. And it looks like they're going to go for two. I take it back. Mark Smoot's the holder, and 37 is Justin Carr with the kick.
Missed the kick wide right. So the score will remain 21-6, 3:49 remaining here in the first half. East Rockingham leading Strasburg. But finally, we talked about, Coach, it looked like they were getting pushed around some up front. They made some adjustments, and a nice drive there put together by the Rams.
Well, Strasburg had been employing at least the first game in the first half against Stonewall Jackson, what they were calling their quick passing attack or quick strike attack. And I think East Rock came out and decided, well, we're going to make you throw long. And I think the adjustment by Strasburg was, let's see if we can run the ball. And Funk has really made some impressive runs. And then they came out of that timeout and found Ryan Smoot all alone, and a heck of an effort to get past two defenders at the goal line, and a very much needed, obviously, score by Strasburg, which gives them some momentum. So let's see if it carries over to their defense.
Take a look at our Intellos wireless scoreboard. East Rockingham 21, Strasburg 6. Intellos wireless for the people. 3:49 remaining here in the first half. Strasburg gets set to kick off for the first time in this game. Simpson and Comer back deep to return for East Rockingham. The
squib.
The kick is a squib kick, goes off of two returners and is finally simply covered up at the 27-yard line. First and 10 Eagles right there.
I think that was really good strategy on behalf of Strasburg to keep it away from Simpson and Comer, who's been impressive on some open field runs, both as a returner and a ball carrier.
Yeah, both of them have made big plays early here for East Rockingham, who leads 21-6, 3:47 remaining here in the first half. See how aggressive Coach Donnie Coleman is. I don't think he'll want to sit on this 26 or 21 points here. They've got 21-6 lead here in the first half. See what he does.
Well, McNair, number 7, is again the quarterback. So, you know, even though it's late in the half, up 21-6, now we're seeing the so-called other quarterback that Coach Coleman indicated that he was going to use both in the interview and then in the paper local paper preceding the game.
Talked about it being a tight battle during the preseason for these two young men and said both of them would have time. And so far they have split time. Timmy Sapp started the game, brought him well into the second quarter, but it's been McNair taking over from there at least the last two series that we've noticed.
I suspect that McNair might have a little bit of edge as a running quarterback. And even though he's diminutive in height, he's put together very well for a sophomore. So let's see what happens. Quick toss.
The big gain out there. Man cuts it inside one tackler and is eventually pushed out of bounds out beyond the 40-yard line. It looks like they'll mark him out of bounds. The 45-yard line, so a nice gain there for East Rockingham on a 1st and 10 at their own 27, a pickup of about 18 yards.
That was Joey Marshburn on that run, and I'm surprised that Strasburg hadn't adjusted to the formation, which sort of indicates what kind of play they're going to run, especially
here you
on
see
that.
the depth again in that backfield, and here comes a toss. You can always tell, Coach, you're right, they're tipping it off, but they don't care apparently that they're telling Strasburg what's
Right.
coming by the depth of those backs.
Well, I think East Rock's point of view is here it is, stop it. And so far, Strasburg has not been able to do it. You can see number 85, Ryan Smoot.
Pickup of about 2 there.
Was kneeling down. He'll be glad when halftime comes because he's playing both ways every snap.
This time it's the tight wing tee. McNair looks to throw. He's got a man out there. The diving catch. Did he grab it? He sure did. Nice catch there.
That was very impressive by Cross.
That's Shannon Cross who found it open in behind the defense, and McNair put this ball a little bit over his head, but watch this diving catch on this Jenkins Insurance replay.
We saw that same play earlier, early in the second quarter, and in your replay there, a very good pass, but even a better reception by Cross. I think Coleman.
McNair back up under center, tight wing tee. The toss goes to the moving back from the left to the right. A good line surge down to about the 6-yard line.
I guess Coach Coleman is answering our question about what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're obviously not sitting on this 21. They'd like to get into the end zone here.
Yes.
Quick response to that Strasburg score, maybe another one here for East Rockingham. McNair brings them back to the line. Again, the tight wing T formation. Cross goes in motion, takes the handoff, or takes the toss, actually. He wrestles down inside the 5-yard line. He'll be down to about the...
I'm not sure if...
4, maybe?
Yeah.
Where they'll say it's first down, so it'll be 1st and goal from the 4-yard line.
It would not surprise me to see McNair keep the ball. In fact, I thought he had the ball that last time. He's so short, he gets lost down in there.
He takes that squat down behind those big linemen, and you can lose him pretty quickly, Coach. You're right.
Yeah.
He's got him back, tight wing T formation.
Inside
this
toss.
This time he brings Marshburn, it looks like, inside toss. He goes down to about the 1-yard line, and with just over a minute 15 remaining in the first half, East Rockingham threatening to extend this 21-6 lead.
That's the mirror play that we saw earlier when the left guard and left tackle pulled and the quarterback led the interference. That was the right side.
Tight wing T again. McNair this time. It looked like he kept the ball and just tried to follow Surge. He gets into the end zone, or somebody gets into the end zone. I can't tell if he kept it or not, did he?
No, that was the toss. That was number 22. Cross again.
Cross then. I saw Cross go in motion, but I couldn't tell if the toss was made or not.
Well, you know what? That's sort of justice after him making that tremendous catch. There's a kick, and it's good.
Kick is good. So with 54.3 seconds remaining here in the first half, East Rockingham has taken a 28-6 lead over Strasburg, and we'll be back right after these messages.
In the nation, our agents are always there, helping make sure that when your life changes, your nationwide insurance coverage changes too. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation where protection is personal.
Nationwide is on your side.
East Rockingham High School, where the Eagles are ready to kick off to Strasburg, whom they lead 28-6 here in the first half. The deep kickoff down to the 10-yard line. Returned out to the 20, 21, 22-yard line that time.
I think number 19 was one of the tacklers on that, Noah Brown, and the other one was number 17.
Tyler Berry.
Yeah.
Strasburg hasn't been shy about putting the ball in the air, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him try a little something here, Coach. 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
I look for either a draw or a middle screen because East Rock linebackers are a little bit deeper than usual. Toss sweep.
Toss sweep to the left side. The line
Wow.
is wide open, and this guy might be
Wow.
off to the races. He is indeed, but the race will be won by the safety from East Rockingham, who had to run him down at the 27, 28-yard line of East Rockingham.
He stopped.
A huge hole that time, or a huge
Here's a replay.
sideline wide open that time for Funk, Colton Funk. What a long run.
And he stepped out at the 30. Simpson tried to strip the ball. I think they're out of timeouts. I think they just clocked the ball, Jay.
He did. 30.6 seconds remaining. The ball resting at the East Rockingham 29-yard line.
Let's see if they come back to Ryan Smoot, brother to brother. Or number 1. Number 7.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left.
Swing
He
pass,
swings the
incomplete.
pass out to the right flat, but incomplete. Intended for Funk that time, trying to get him out on the wing again. Pass just overthrown.
He had some running room there had he made that catch.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. 27.4 seconds remaining here in the first half. And I'm sure we're 4 down territory. They're not going to stop here at 3rd, Coach.
Right.
Smoot and shotgun still. Takes a snap, drops back, throws to the left. The ball's tipped up in the air and intercepted. And this is going to be returned for a touchdown. There's nobody down this sideline to pick him up. Touchdown, and I don't see any flags, Coach.
Number 10, Jarek Deal for East Rockingham. You know, by the reaction of the Strasburg receiver. Let's watch on the replay. You know what? I think that ball hit the ground. I think that ball hit the ground.
Great view of it there. We'll take another look at it and see if it did or not, Coach. But
well,
once he made the pick, there was nobody there, as you see on the Jenkins Insurance replay. He just made it wide open down this left sideline.
Well,
89-yard touchdown return.
I noticed the reaction of the Strasburg receiver, and when the ball bounced up in the air and he took off with it, he raised his hands like, what's going on? And I'm almost sure, although this isn't reviewable, right?
No, no.
I'm joking with you, Jay, but I'm almost sure that hit the ground and popped up in the air. It may have hit his shoe and the ground, but anyway, it's a moot point.
East Rockingham set to kick the extra point. Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick does make it through the uprights. So with 8.1 seconds remaining, East Rockingham has extended its lead 35-6 on an 89-yard interception return by Jarek Deal. And we'll be back right after this.
Wow.
Did you know Harrisonburg Nissan is 24 years old and locally owned? Plus, you can shop from home 24/7 online with our express buying service. Check it out at harrisonburgnissan.com. Give us a fighting chance.
Back to Elkton, Virginia, and East Rockingham High School, where the Eagles have just taken a 35-6 lead over the Strasburg Rams. And Coach, you talked about it earlier. The receiver threw his hands up after that ball bounced off of him. I couldn't tell if it hit ground or if it hit his knee pad. It was ruled it hit a knee pad. We'll take a look at it here, see if we get it again.
Oh, my goodness.
It did indeed hit the ground and pop up.
Oh, my goodness.
Good thing we don't have replay in high school, because that one would be coming back.
And you know what? It did hit the ground and his shoe. It hit cross his shoe, the ground, and cross his shoe and popped up. You know, I'm surprised that none of the Stripes saw that, but you can't fault the East Rock kid. You know, he didn't know, and he made a great play on it, and so that's that.
Logan Comer to kick off. This time they squibbed the kick down. It's picked up at the 29-yard line by number 7. That's Trevin Howard, and Howard returns it back inside the 30. Loses 2 yards on the return. Jared Hurt that time on the tackle. 3.2 seconds remaining. I'd be surprised if the Rams tried anything here other than to take a knee and maybe call this thing a half.
Well, I think, certainly they need to regroup, and probably more important than regrouping, they probably need a little break, a little R&R. They've got a lot of guys, key people playing both ways. Funk, who's been doing a good job running, is also one of their main defenders, as well as Justin Carr, and then of course Ryan Smoot. Yeah, this is a fall on the ball formation.
Yeah, this is what a lot of teams call victory formation. Unfortunately, that doesn't appear to be the case here tonight for Strasburg. They trail at 35-6 here at halftime. East Rockingham leading at home in their first game of the 2014 season, and we'll be back to talk about the first half highlights right after this.
On the train test range, the search for any possible weakness continues. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Train, the most reliable for a reason.
Hey, how are you?
second half to keep this lead?
Well, I'd like to see our team not look at the scoreboard and just keep going forward like a score 0-0 right here. We played a good half, had a couple breakdowns there, but we could still get better.
Not only have you been playing well offensively, but defensively, how important have those 2 turnovers been for you?
Especially that pick 6 right there. That was huge right before the end of the half. We kind of answered their bell when they rung the bell right there, so we answered back, and proud of our kids, but it's only half the game.
Thank you. We'll be right back after these commercials.
Clear to zip. Break a little. That's good. Good job. Game on.
When we told you the neighbors got to stay up past midnight,
You told us we're not the neighbors. When we told you the neighbors got a pony, a swimming pool, a dirt bike.
you told us
We're not the neighbors. But now the neighbors have truly unlimited data from Intellos, and everyone gets their own smartphone.
so. What do you say now?
More phones, more lines, and more data. Stand up and demand more. Act now and get 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text for just $45 a month plus 0 down on all smartphones. And Telos, wireless for the people.
There's something to be said about honesty and loyalty, about commitment and trust. Yes, these are some of the traits that make a really great friend. And at United, we think they're also the traits that make a really great bank. It's how we've done business since 1839. Knowing names, knowing faces, knowing dreams. So while you're out there at work, at play, and at life, always know we're at your service. United Bank.
Introducing something new from Old Dominion. Our clients have loved our feature-rich mobile site for years. And now you can get all that info in an app. Search the way you like. Discover listings in new ways. From desktop to mobile, we've got you covered. And one more thing, we are the only company in the area to have access to 5 MLS systems. That means you'll get more listings and info here than anywhere else. Guaranteed. Old Dominion Realty. Now that's what you were looking for.
House.
So, you know, despite that last play, which could be considered controversial, I don't think it's a factor right now. You know, East Rock has run the ball on the outside. Strasburg has got to make an adjustment, you know, as simple as saying, you know, if the backs line up close to the line of scrimmage, you can call tight, and then if they're deeper or go in motion, you call deep, and they're going to do one of two or three things out of each formation. Of course, you got a mirror play going either way, but Strasburg's got to make some adjustments on defense as to the formation dictating what East Rock's going to do.
That's exactly right, Coach. In the last play, we saw that defensive highlight brought to you by Paul Obaugh Ford. Make the switch at Paul Obaugh. And the first half highlights brought to you, the recap brought to you by Harrisonburg Nissan. Unleash excitement and savings. And we'll be back with more of the second half right after these messages.
Eugene went to Centera RMH to repair an old shoulder injury, and now he's back to his active life.
With my right shoulder injury prior to surgery, I was not able to do a lot of things I like to do. Now I can ride my bicycle, pick up my son, and not have to worry about my shoulder causing me pain. Dr. Muxlow was able to repair my right shoulder with a minimally invasive approach so I'd have a quicker recovery. I feel that having my shoulder surgery at Centera RMH has improved my life.
No referral is needed, so visit rmhonline.com today.
Well, folks, it's official. Paul Obaugh Ford is the #1 select Ford dealer in the entire Washington, D.C. district, including the Valley, for the first half of 2014. All because you made the switch. To meet demand, we've decided to almost double our new car inventory for a bigger selection, which means bigger savings. Plus, free maintenance, including oil changes and tire rotations for the life of your bumper-to-bumper warranty on every new Ford sold. Only where the Valley makes the switch. Are you ready?
Clear to zip. Break a little. That's good. Very good job. Game on.
Need more from your wireless relationship? Maybe it's time to start a new one. Switch to Intellos Wireless and get 10 gigs of data and unlimited talk and text for just $45 a month. Yes, more data, more value. Plus, get zero down on all smartphones, and we'll even buy out your contract up to $350 per line. It's 10 gigs of data and unlimited talk and text for only $45 a month. Stand up and demand more. Intellos, wireless for the people.
The band.
No, just them here. The players were good. Jay, are these your kids? Are these your children?
Oh, no. Yeah, this is my daughter,
I'm
Kelly. And this is her fiance, Jared Brinkley.
That's me. If you ever saw the movie The Searchers, it's fiancé. You ever seen that movie?
Strasburg, stick around for some halftime entertainment.
There's something to be said about honesty and loyalty, about commitment and trust. Yes, these are some of the traits that make a really great friend. And at United, we think they're also the traits that make a really great bank. It's how we've done business since 1839. Knowing names, knowing faces, knowing dreams. So while you're out there at work, at play, and at life, always know we're at your service. United Bank.
On the journey to a great car deal, all roads lead to the same location. Harrisonburg Nissan. We've got it all. Great savings on a huge selection of new Nissans and the Valley's largest selection of pre-owned cars. Zero down sign and drive. And if you'd rather not drive, we're just a mouse click away 24/7 at harrisonburgnissan.com. Doesn't matter what the map says. The road to a great car buying experience leads to one location. Harrisonburg Nissan, the beast on 33 East.
Want something you can use now? Well, at Paul Obal Ford, we've almost doubled our inventory so that you can find the new Ford that you're looking for today. Want something you can use for the entire life of the bumper-to-bumper warranty? Well, how about free maintenance? That's right. Paul Obal will give you free maintenance on your new Ford for the life of your bumper-to-bumper warranty. Free oil changes, tire rotations, plus all this. Just one more reason to make the switch to Paul Obal Ford. Are you ready?
Resort in Elkton are two of the finest restaurants in the Valley, Ciro's Italian Eatery and El Paso Mexican Grill. Ciro's offers authentic Italian cuisine, pizzas, and subs, as well as an extensive hand-picked wine selection. And just 2 blocks away, at El Paso, you'll find the genuine tastes of Mexico. So whether you have a taste for Italian or Mexican, take the scenic drive to Elkton and visit us soon. Enjoy a meal you're sure to remember at Ciro's Italian Eatery and El Paso Mexican Grill.
Hope to see you soon. Salud.
Back in Elkin, Virginia on an absolutely gorgeous Friday night with a nice breeze blowing, and East Rockingham all over visiting Strasburg 35-6 here at halftime. And Coach, you said Strasburg would have to make some adjustments here at the end of the first half. What do you expect to see here in the second half if they get back in it?
Well, you know, I think East Rockingham came in with a defensive plan to put a stop to the short passing game, you know, of Strasburg. Against Stonewall, Strasburg threw 3 touchdowns that were caught passes and then yards after catch, one a 78-yarder. And so I think Strasburg has to do one or two things, be able to throw the ball long occasionally. But I think more than anything else, they got to come out and do what they did in the second quarter. They were running the ball effectively, especially to number 33, Colton Funk. I have no idea of his yardage, but he had at least 3 big runs, Jay. And, you know, so I wanted to say this, you know, run the football, you know, keep doing that. But the key thing is they've got to put a stop to East Rockingham's offense. And as I said previously, they ought to be able to, they've got to make an adjustment to stop the outside running plays, the toss sweeps. And of course, they've been hurt by a quick screen to Simpson and then a long pass. So their adjustment's got to be on defense.
Yeah, I think you're right, Coach, and we noticed it early in this game whenever the backs are lining up deeper in the backfield for East Rockingham. It's usually been for a toss sweep or something wide, and whenever they're tight, they're going with that option run or that toss sweep. that's a little bit tighter to the line of scrimmage, and Strasburg just hasn't made an adjustment for that. They haven't done anything to get somebody outside that defensive end or the outside that tight end on their sweeps or anything. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here, down 35-6 at halftime.
You know, East Rockingham, on the last couple of times they had the ball, were running that tight formation and pulling the offside guard and tackle and tossing, and the quarterback was even leading as a blocker, and they were getting some yardage on that inside the red zone. But I think, you know, out in space is where East Rockingham was hurting them, either, like you said, the toss play or getting the ball to one of their backs or receivers out in space that they could use their quickness and elusiveness.
Shannon Cross has 3 of the touchdowns there in the first half. He had a 3-yard run, 6:46 mark in the first quarter. He had a 14-yard TD run at 8:36 in the second quarter. And then he had a 1-yard TD run with 54.3 seconds left. That made it 28-6. And then Jarek Deal's 89-yard interception return capped the scoring at 35-6. And that's where we are here at halftime. And we'll be back with the second half kickoff right after these breaks.
What do all these people have in common? Potential home buyers. So whether you're a first-time home buyer or an experienced one, let Old Dominion Realty help you with your real estate needs. Old Dominion Realty, built on integrity with proven results. Contact us at odrva.com or call 1-800-296-2455.
We provide excellent care here at Centera RMH Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, from the initial injury all the way through rehab, and it's all right here in the local community. What I love about my job is the fact that I can get people functioning better and back to the activities they like to do. It's about patient-centered care, and the goal from the nursing staff to the physicians to the rehab staff is focused on helping out people and getting them better.
No referral is needed, so visit rmhonline.com today.
We are back at East Rockingham High School, where East Rockingham leads visiting Strasburg 35-6 at halftime. The team's coming back out onto the field here. Something we didn't talk about either, Coach. Not only was that a tough break, that interception return, East Rockingham's going to get the ball first to start the second half. They deferred in the first half. They'll get the ball first to start here, so this could be a real big deficit to start here early in the third quarter. Strasburg's got to make a stop here. How important is that?
Well, if they have any hopes of coming back and getting into the game, they've got to make some adjustments. And the adjustments we were talking about, that's imperative to Strasburg making on defense. We're going to find out right here at the beginning of the third quarter as they kick off to East Rockingham. We'll see if Coach Roller for Strasburg has made any, he and his staff have made any adjustments on defense.
We'll find out very early if that's the case or not. The Rams lined up to kick it off, 12 minutes on the clock, and we are back underway, our second half, here in our first SVS, Shenandoah Valley Sports Game of the Week, brought to you by Telemedia Productions, live on telemediaproductions.com. The return brought out near midfield.
Well, Strasburg chose to squib kick it, trying to keep a ball away from Simpson and Comer.
Simpson and Logan Comer, and it was Shannon Cross who picked it up and made a nice return
Well,
out
and
near
then
midfield.
and then we got a late hit and 2 flags, so there's going to be 15 yards added to the return. So East Rock's going to be starting at the 38-yard line of Strasburg.
Certainly not the way Roller would have wanted to start this second half, I can't believe, Coach.
Right. I think
East Rockingham had the advantage in field position in the second half, or in the first half rather, and it looks like they're going to carry that over into the second half here. As you said, 1st and 10 on the Strasburg 38 to start things off, and they've already got a 35-6 lead.
You know, just a comment on that penalty. Sometimes it's really difficult to see whether a kid's going to run out of bounds or try to go down the sideline and pull up and not hit him. That's, you know, you got to call it. But, well, there's the first adjustment.
There's the first one we've seen. That time they got good pursuit out here. 85 came out and made that tackle. That's Ryan Smoot.
Right, there was your quick toss. And that might be the first time tonight they've held them to no gain on a quick toss. So, again, let's see how East Rock responds on a 2nd and 10. Simpson's wide.
2 wide receivers, a fake handoff. That's Timmy Sapp rolling out to his right. He finds a receiver, and he's got a big gain down inside the 20-yard line, down close to the 15.
You know, one of the staple passing plays of a wing T is to run your fullback into the flat, and that's exactly what East Rockingham did there. And that was Sapp on a pass in the flat to number 2, Esteban Ramirez. And
they mark him out of bounds at about the 20, Coach. So it'll be 1st and 10, East Rockingham from the Strasburg 20.
Yeah, that's the first time they've thrown to the fullback in the flat, which is one of the, as I said, a main staple in the play-action passing attack of a wing T offense.
This time they fake the toss sweep and go right up the middle. Ramirez again on the carry.
Mm-hmm.
He picks up about 5 yards down to the 15, where it'll be 2nd and 5.
Well, you and I discussed when we were off air about adjusting to the quick toss, and you know there's a complement play to that, and that's the play we just saw. But that 5-yard gain is sure better than a 10 or 15-yard gain from the outside.
And they're in that back deep possession again, and there goes the
same play.
Same exact play to the other side of the line this time.
Yep. But what they're doing on that, they influence the defensive end and the defensive tackle with a fake toss, and they step outside, and then the blockers kick them out, and they, you know, hand off to the fullback on the same side as the fake toss, and that's exactly what you saw right there.
Ball's down at the 8-yard line. Strasburg got to make a goal line stand here. They can't afford to go down any more here on this first possession. East Rockingham, however, looking hungry. 10 minutes and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Our scoreboard brought to you by Old Dominion Realty, built on integrity. Sapp brings him up to the line of scrimmage. He steps under, sends a man in motion. The ball goes again up the middle. This time it's a big hole. Ramirez takes it in. Touchdown, East Rockingham. An 8-yard run by Esteban Ramirez. Coach, walk us through this.
Well,
see the TV here.
That's the same play I just described over the other side. It just a compliment mirror play over here. They influenced the defensive right end for Strasburg with the fake toss, and then they handed to Ramirez right in on the same side.
The kick by Comer up and good. So the score now, East Rockingham 42, Strasburg 6, and we'll be back with a kickoff right after this.
You know, I'm glad.
Back in Elkton, Virginia on an absolutely gorgeous Friday fall evening, especially for early in September. A little warm, but we'll get through it, Coach.
Well,
East Rockingham beating Strasburg 42-6.
Well, after the sun went down, the air cooled off, but you and I were being sauna-ized here earlier in the evening.
It's a little warm here in the press box.
We probably need it, or I do anyway.
Probably not as warm as it's going to be on that bus ride on the way home for Strasburg if they don't get things turned around here. Flag's already bringing the kickoff back.
Probably, I'd say somebody crossed the line before the kick. I'd say an offsides, but I'm just guessing. Yep.
Offsides, you're right. They'll bring it back 5 yards and try it again, Coach. This may help the field position for the Strasburg Rams. They've needed it tonight. They haven't had near the advantage that the East Rockingham has as far as field position goes.
Correct.
Kickoff down to about the 19-yard line.
Number 5.
Cody Price returns it out to about the 32-yard line. He'll be brought down there.
Well, we saw a little bit of defensive adjustment, and by Strasburg to stop the outside toss, and East Rock responded with the fullback. Now let's see what adjustments they may have made on offense, Jay.
Well, they'll have to hurry too, because as you said during the break, Coach, we've got a running clock now, so the clock will continue to run with this lopsided score in East Rockingham's favor. Smoot takes a snap, tosses
Funk.
to Funk on this side, the right side. He's met by a gang at the
had
at the line of scrimmage. He may have he lost a yard back to the 32-yard line.
And on the
It'll
replay,
be 2nd and 11 now for the Rams.
On the replay, you might have seen number 81, Papoose Steed, come in on a crackback, and but East Rock defended it well, and lost the yardage.
Receivers to the left. Smoot in the shotgun as he's been most of the night. He rolls to that side, throws just underthrown. Intended for Nathan Butler, ball's just underthrown. 3rd and about 11 now for Strasburg.
You know, we talked a lot about quarterbacks and wide receivers, running backs. I think, you know, I need to say something, commend the offensive and defensive fronts of East Rockingham. Ultimately, I believe that's where the game is being won, frankly.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. He's looking for the man on the right. That's number 1, Noah St. Clair. Well defended out there.
Yeah, number 17 did a good job. He ran right with the wide receiver.
That's Tyler Berry out there in coverage, and he did. He stayed with him all the way. 4th and 11 now, and the Rams have allowed a score, and now they've been forced to punt on the 3 and out. Definitely not the way they wanted to start the second half, Coach.
Right.
Here you see our scoreboard, 42-6, East Rockingham over Strasburg. Scoreboard brought to you by United Bank, celebrating 175 years. Bank with United. End over end kick will go out of bounds.
45. 44.
Referee runs up the sideline, stops at the 43-44 yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 East Rockingham, and again, they're just winning the field battle of field position, making this a real short field for East Rockingham, Coach. Not as short as it was the first drive of the second half,
right?
But still,
right. You know, as the season progresses here, I think there's 2 keys for East Rockingham on offense. Number 1 is their offensive line, big. Number 70, 330 pounds. You see him coming on the field there. Transferred from Spotswood High School. Number 72, David Kisling, who's their only two-way starter on the line.
Tall sweep that time.
A good play by that Strasburg. 45.
It's 45. That's Zach McDonald again. That's the second play he's made tonight, Coach.
Yeah.
Brought down Tyson Price that time. East Rockingham going with some of the backup guys now in the second half. That was Price on the carry, his first of the game.
Yeah, and there's Comer coming into the game. I think a second key for Rockingham is the fullback position, and specifically number 2, as we saw earlier, Esteban Ramirez. Because when teams, got a flag, Jay, when teams start to adjust to trying to stop the quick sweep and the outside plays, the ability of the big line and Ramirez to run the ball from tackle to tackle is going to be the key that would allow them to continue to gain yards and sustain drives.
In the last 2 plays, Coach, they've gone against what they showed in the first half with those backs deep in the backfield. They haven't run that sweep. They've gone with a toss, the short toss inside the line. So
right.
Another adjustment that they've made now because of the adjustment that the Rams made. Quarterback drops back to pass. He throws down the sideline for Comer. The ball's knocked out of bounds by number 11, Austin Schlintner.
Mm-hmm.
Nice defensive play that time by the defensive back from Strasburg.
As the people can see on the screen, and you mentioned earlier, Jay, we've got a 36-point deficit here. So you even on an incomplete pass, you see the running clock.
Third and 14 now for East Rockingham. They lead it 42-6. Takes a snap, throws a little wide receiver screen out to the right or to the left-hand sideline. Ball is caught by Tyler Berry. He gets about half of what he needed there, Coach. It'll be 4th and about 5 yards.
Right.
And I imagine we'll see East Rockingham in a punting formation.
Yeah, I think that's Ramirez in punt formation. Number 2, Jay.
Cody Price drops back for Strasburg. It's another good kick. Out of bounds.
Looks like inside the 20.
We'll see where they mark it. The official walking his way up the sideline stops just inside the 20 at the 19, and that's where Strasburg will take over. 1st and 10, 3:16 remaining here in the third quarter. East Rockingham leading Strasburg 42-6. Smoot leads them to the line of scrimmage. He's got one back beside him, another behind him, single receivers to either side. He takes a snap, hands it to the fullback, the one near him. That's 37.
That's Justin
Carr, who's out to the 45-yard line. Nice, strong run out to the 40.
I see the replay.
The 45, nice run that time.
Well, you see the replay there, folks. You know, Strasburg's offensive set's what we call a pistol. One of the key plays out of the pistol is the read option, and that was the closest thing to what we've seen as a read option at time. He actually rode 37 into the line, and the defensive lineman came upfield and he gave him the ball. Now that may have been the same play.
Looked like the same play. They were coming back to this side, just nowhere to go. That time the pursuit didn't over-pursue into the backfield, and they wrapped him up in the backfield, bringing up a loss of 2. So that'll bring up 2nd and 12 now for the Rams.
Well, number 62 came from the opposite side. That's Big Poppy, Gerald Rivera Valise, who came across the line of scrimmage and put a stop to that.
Single receivers to either side, 2 backs in the backfield, 1 beside, 1 behind Smoot. He takes the backfield, hands to the deep back this time.
Short trap.
A nice run that time for Funk. Funk does find a nice hole, and he's out of bounds inside East Rockingham territory.
If we get a replay here, you're going to see number 76 come across and trap from the right to the left side. And I've been impressed by number 33, Jay. He's a very tough runner, Colton Funk.
He's been the key player for the Rams for sure tonight. He's had, that's at least his 4th big play for them, and he's had some other plays at 4 and 5 yards. So those yardage are starting to pile up for him. Smoot in the shotgun. Again, he goes to Funk. This time there's nowhere for him to run. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Remind me of an old song there, Jay. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
That's exactly right. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Rams. 1 minute and counting here in the second quarter, or in the third quarter, second half rather.
Again, we got running clock, so.
Time will pass rather quickly now.
Yes. Well,
pass over the middle, thrown a little bit behind his intended receiver and off his hands.
His brother, Ryan Smoot, was the intended receiver. That young man looks like he'll probably sleep well tonight. He looks like he's worn out.
He's been playing a solid game both sides. He's a defensive end on one side and a receiver on the other.
Well, you can see a lot of hands on knees there by the Strasburg players. They've got some good side guys up front, and,
2 receivers to either side, a single back beside Smoot in the backfield. That's Mark Smoot. He takes a snap, takes a couple of steps back, and throws down the left sideline. The ball underthrown that time. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter with East Rockingham leading Strasburg 42-6. We'll be back with the final quarter of tonight's SVS game right after this.
Break a little. That's good. Good job. Game on.
When we told you the neighbors got to stay past midnight,
You told us we're not the neighbors. When we told you the neighbors got a pony, a swimming pool, a dirt bike.
you told us
We're not the neighbors. But now the neighbors have truly unlimited data from Intellos, and everyone gets their own smartphone.
So, what do you say now?
More phones, more lines, and more data. Stand up and demand more. Act now and get 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text for just $45 a month plus $0 down on all smartphones. And Telos, wireless for the people.
We are back in Elkton, Virginia at East Rockingham High School, where the homestanding Eagles lead the visiting Strasburg Rams 42-6. 12 minutes remaining in our first SVS Shenandoah Valley Sports game of the week. We're proud to be with you again, and thanks again to all of our sponsors for bringing you this action live on telemediaproductions.com. Smoot this time wrapped up 4th and 10 from the 40. He's wrapped up in the backfield, and he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line, and East Rockingham will take over right there.
That was number 28, put a lot of pressure on Smoot there for East Rockingham.
That's Derek Addison who's come into the ball game. I imagine we'll start seeing a lot of new faces now, Coach. Interesting to see if Jalen McNair will be back out there or not.
I would suspect that we might see him this time. In fact, there he goes, number 7. I was very impressed by him he threw a play action pass down the field to Cross, number 22, right there near the end of the half. A very impressive throw. And I think might see him the rest of the way.
McNair under center, tight eye formation, a little bit of motion. The toss goes to, can't tell who that was.
Well, that was a tight toss, which meant left guard, left tackle are going to lead, and that was number 1 on the carry.
Josh Holloway on the carry then. He comes out of the ball game. Cross goes in to take his place.
They're tight, and their splits are really tight up in there. There's that
23 this time. That's Tyson Price, on the carry. He surges forward into Strasburg territory, and he's down to about the 47-yard line, a gain of about 6 yards.
That was just a mirror play to the left side. The right guard, right tackle pulled, and sort of an inside the tackle power sweep.
3rd and about 3 yards to go now for East Rockingham. McNair in, calling the shots. They're again in that tight wing T formation. Double wings.
I'm looking for an outside play.
Fullback returning about.
There's an outside sweep. Oh, good play by 45.
Nice play that time by Zach McDonald. He's been the stalwart defensively here for Strasburg, if you can call it one, giving up 42 points. But
right.
He's made 3 or 4 big plays for them.
Yeah.
That'll bring up 4th and
a long 2.
4th and about 3. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage there, Coach. I can't believe he did. We take a look at this defensive play brought to you by Rockingham Memorial Hospital. Quality care, RMH, by your side.
I think they're trying to decide whether they're going to punt it or go for it.
It looks like they're going to go for it. McNair's still out there on the field. They let time expire. Call a timeout just before the clock expires, however. So with 9:18, we'll take a timeout with East Rockingham, who leads 42-6 over Strasburg.
Well, folks, it's official. Paul Loball Ford is the #1 select Ford dealer in the entire Washington, D.C. district, including the Valley, for the first half of 2014. All because you made the switch. To meet demand, we've decided to almost double our new car inventory for a bigger selection, which means bigger savings. Plus, free maintenance, including oil changes and tire rotations for the life of your bumper-to-bumper warranty on every new Ford sold. Only where the Valley makes the switch. Are you ready?
Come back out of the break, and as you said, Coach, they're thinking about doing some going for it. At least McNair was still in the game before we left the break. We come back and they're in punt formation, and maybe, Coach, they're just trying to get some work in on these special teams before next week's game.
Yeah, I think that's a backup punting team. At least it's a backup punter, number 14. I'm not sure who the...
Jared Hurt that time, the backup punter in there. Snap went over his head and off his hands. He had to return and pick it up, and by the time he did, he was lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage, 45-yard line, and that's where Strasburg now will take over. This is their best field position of the half. A little too little, too late, I'm afraid, though, for the Rams. 9:01 remaining and counting.
I don't think you're going to see any, substitutions on Strasburg's part, except I'm wrong. Number 9's coming in at quarterback.
There you see our scoreboard still. East Rockingham 42, Strasburg 6. Our scoreboard sponsors Comcast, Massanutten Resort, Intellos, Old Dominion Realty, and United Bank. And we've got flags on the play before the snap.
We got Ryan Bowers at quarterback for Strasburg, Jay.
Illegal substitution that time on the defense. You don't see that very often.
Wow. I suspect 12 men on the field. That's what it was. 51 was the 12th man.
This time Smoot. Is that Funk again?
No, it's 37. I believe it's Justin Carr.
Justin Carr then. Big gain down inside the 20-yard line to the 20 or to the 17. And here you see it on.
I would imagine if we,
yeah, that's Cody Darr now in the ball game. That's his first carry of the night.
That's my bad. 27 rather than 37. 37 is in the game, but
still a shotgun formation, 2 backs in the backfield.
There he goes again.
Hand off again, and he's in this time for the touchdown. 17-yard touchdown run by number 27, Cody Darr.
Here's a replay, and he eludes the first defender, and there's nothing there. Albeit that's against East Rock's second defensive unit, but still that's a positive for Strasburg, and for number 27, that's a real positive run. They may need him to play some as we go on through the season.
Strasburg got their offensive unit on the field. It looks like they'll go for 2, and they will. The snap comes back to the quarterback pass over the middle. There's a flag on the attempted reception in the end zone.
To number 87 was the intended receiver, Jay.
That's Zach Baker, the target on that pass. And
We
the
got-
way that was thrown, it looks like we're going to have defensive interference, and that'll move the ball down to the 1-yard line. And it'll be another attempted 2-point conversion for the Rams. Trying to find out who that new quarterback is, Coach. What number we got out there?
Number 9.
Ryan Bowers.
Right.
Ryan Bowers now in the game at quarterback for the Rams. He drops back, throws a quick out. It is complete for the 2-point conversion. So with 7:42 remaining here in the game, the Rams have cut the deficit to 42-14.
Yeah, here's the fake, and then they slide number 37, who is Justin Carr, out of the backfield into the flat, and then sort of an out pattern by the back into the flat, and successful.
That touchdown replay brought to you by University Outpost for all of your JMU needs. East Rockingham had things going their way pretty much all night, Coach. Next week, they will be at James River, while the Rams enjoy a bye next week before returning to play on the 19th against James Wood. So pretty impressive start. James River has some film to look at and break down as they get to look at East Rockingham this
They
week.
certainly will. Ordinarily, that would not be an opponent that you would expect, but because of the Virginia High School League reclassification, and you got different conferences, schools in the same enrollment, James River is roughly between Lexington and Roanoke. So years ago, James River used to be a single A team in the old District 5, along with Wilson Memorial and Buffalo Gap and Fort Defiance. I know little about James River, but you're exactly right. James River will have some game planning to do.
Squib kick that time fell on at the 32-yard line, where East Rockingham will take over now. 1st and 10, 7:40 remaining. Here in our first game of the week, brought to you by Telemedia Productions. We hope you are enjoying this Shenandoah Valley Sports presentation. Jay Crawford with Jack Hale in the booth, bringing you the play-by-play. And I believe we were told next week we will be at Spotswood. I can't remember who the Trailblazers are playing, but don't take me up on that. I just think that's what I heard in the office this week.
Okay. Okay, there's
the tight formation, which we saw only runs inside the line of scrimmage, inside the tackles, if you will. That time they go toss and go wide to Josh Holloway.
Well, the one from a tight, when they send a man in motion like that and get him outside the containment end, and that toss play can be really effective. But as I said, these are primarily, you've got some second line people for Strasburg on defense. I think 45 is the only guy I see that was in there previously. Got a lot of new defensive linemen.
Handoff that time to fullback. He bounces off of one tackler, but is immediately brought down again. That's Zach McDonald.
Yeah, number 30 was the ball carrier.
30 is Ethan Armentrout, a junior running back now in the ball game for East Rockingham. Third and 1. East Rockingham now taking their time coming out of huddle, and the quarterback will look to the sideline and he'll get a signal before he runs the play. There's a tall sweep to the left side. Big hole that time, number 23, Tyson Price, finds a lot of running room down that left sideline. He's inside the Strasburg 30, down to close to the 25-yard line. We'll see where they mark him.
Well,
no, they pushed him out of bounds at the 31-yard line. We see the Jenkins Insurance replay here, Coach.
Well, that's the same play we saw just a little bit earlier out of the tight formation, but they send a man in motion. And by the time he snaps the ball, center snaps the ball, he's outside of the defensive end containment. And they just toss it out there, and it's he and the defensive back one-on-one.
Tight wing T formation again, double wings, as we've seen most of the night here with East Rockingham. Fairly content to run clock, 5:35 and counting.
There you go,
That's
same
Holloway
play over
in
here.
motion. He goes inside the 25-yard line down to about the 24.
So
pick up of about 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4.
If you notice, the quarterback for East Rock is coming to the line, and he's waiting and going to snap the ball just before the
they've got a
play
coach
clock
on the sideline with a stopwatch somewhere, Coach.
Right. There you go.
There's a tall sweep again to Tyson Price. He gets out to the left side where he found a lot of room the last time. He's got another first down inside the 15, struggling to get down to the 10-yard line. Did he make it? No, they'll mark him down at about the 12, maybe the 11. Tough to tell from our vantage point, but it is another first down for the Eagles.
They're very simply saying, run the same play the other way. I'm not sure what
Same
they're.
thing, other side. That's what they're calling in the huddle.
Right. Notice that McNair's waiting to get the signal from the sideline. All right, go ahead before we get the.
There's a flag.
Ooh. Somebody's messed up with the play clock, Jay.
Nope, somebody moved on the far side. Looks like illegal procedure against the Eagles. So they'll back it up.
Right.
It'll be 1st and 15 now from the 16-yard line. 4:15 with the clock stopped.
Now they've wound the clock again. Only time they're stopping it now are on change of possessions. What in the world here? Same thing? What is
It is indeed.
What is going on?
I can't see it, but both flags have been on the far side. That's another 5 yards, so it'll be 1st and 20 now. Sometimes this is what you get first game of the season, Coach, but this is not only first game, this is first game and backup offensive unit. So
right, and this is great experience.
Getting a little sloppy.
This is a great experience for these guys.
Tight wing tee. The toss this time comes to the right side.
Yeah.
Tough run back down to the 15-yard line.
You know, I'm not sure what they called. I did notice that time that the fullback, before the snap, took a step forward. You know, that probably could have been called, because if you either have to go laterally in motion, once you become set, you can't take a step forward.
Here it is again, toss sweep to number 1. That's Josh Holloway.
Wow.
He breaks one tackle, slips inside one tackle, and gets down to about the 10-yard line, close to the original line of scrimmage.
He eluded 2 tacklers that time. We got Strasburg player down, number 5 for Strasburg is down.
Price. We'll
Looks
take a timeout. East Rockingham has players coming to the sideline, and we'll be back with the final 2:44 right after this break.
Maybe it's time to start a new one. Switch to Intellos Wireless and get 10 gigs of data and unlimited talk and text for just $45 a month. Yes, more data, more value. Plus, get zero down on all smartphones, and we'll even buy out your contract up to $350 per line. It's 10 gigs of data and unlimited talk and text for only $45 a month. Stand up and demand more. Intellos, wireless for the people.
Might see before that. Oh, okay.
Cody Price being led off the
JMU
field
games.
here at East Rockingham High School, where East Rockingham Eagles lead the Strasburg Rams 42-14, 2:35 and counting here in the fourth quarter. East Rockingham on the 10-yard line of Strasburg. 3rd and 8. Toss sweep to the right side, no room there. He'll be brought down right about at the line of scrimmage.
You can see
that'll bring up 4th and about 8.
You can see that the quarterback will move his heel to signal to the wingback who's going in motion, you know, that's time to start to get their timing on that toss. So he's outside of containment of the defensive player.
McNair leads them to the line. 4th down, about 8, maybe 9 yards. Tall sweep that time, and feet just simply came out from underneath him that time. It looked like 23, Tyson Price.
Right.
Turnover on downs now. Strasburg will take over, 1:32 remaining. East Rockingham 42, Strasburg 14 in our first Shenandoah Valley Sports Game of the Week of 2014.
First and 10, Rams. Starting about the 11-yard line.
Quarterback under center for the first time for Strasburg.
Ooh.
Ball is fumbled in there and picked up by number 52.
Yep.
Ball's fumbled and recovered by number 52, Damon Middleton. So East Rockingham will go right back out on the field, 124 remaining now.
You can see the replay that number 27 was supposed to be the ball carrier. Well, he never got the ball, and because you had penetration at the junction point where you make the handoff, popped up in the air, and that's the second time we've seen a turnover as a result of the ball being recovered in the air.
Return down to about the 3-yard line, so it'll be first and goal. East Rockingham. McNair brings them out again. He looks to the sideline for a play. I'd be surprised to see anything but maybe victory here. Do you go ahead and let these kids run it, Coach?
I think he'll go ahead and run a play. I think he'll, no, you're going to be right. It's going to be victory. And that's a classy move on the part of, there's a delay of game. But that's a classy move on the part of Coach Coleman and his staff. You know,
5 yards. Minute 24 to play. We got first down.
I don't think there's any use with a 28-point lead, you know, to rub sand in the wound.
No, because 1 year it all comes back around. That's what they tell you.
Right.
There's a snap, drops back, takes his knee.
Yep. I don't, the clock didn't start.
Passing along further update. Wayne Monroe 13, Spotswood 6, late in the third quarter.
Wow.
We
Surprising
just got a
score
from another game. William Monroe 13-6 lead over Spotswood late in the third quarter. Spotswood went over and Spotswood entertained last year and won 56-28, but a little bit tighter game this year.
You can
We're
bet.
under a minute to play. McNair looking to the sidelines, waiting to get the nod. He does get the nod. He takes a snap, takes a knee. He may have to do that one more time, Coach.
I agree. You know, on that other score, you know, I'm sure the William Monroe coaching staff put that score on the bulletin board before the game, and Spotswood, you know, lost some, you know, key players, a really good running back, and but I think Spotswood will be strong again.
Spotswood lost 23 players, and I think if what I read in the paper today is correct, William Monroe returned 21 seniors, so a little bit of a different picture there.
Exactly.
Monroe trying to hold on for the win. And we've come to the end of tonight's ball game. East Rockingham 42, Strasburg 14. We'll be back to talk about the highlights after this break.
Clear to zip. Break a little. That's good. Good job. Game on.
We are back at East Rockingham High School where the Eagles have held on for a 42-14 win over Strasburg in our first Shenandoah Valley Sports Game of the Week, brought to you by Telemedia Productions. 2 scores in the second half to talk about. Esteban Ramirez, the first score, an 8-yard TD run for East Rockingham. That made it 42-6. And then Cody Darr on a 17-yard TD run for Strasburg in the fourth quarter made the score 42-14 final. So, Coach, what are your lasting thoughts as we leave this game here, 42-14 in favor of East Rockingham?
Well, for East Rockingham, I think, you know, they've got a fine team. I think they've got big, good offensive line and defensive line.
Thank you.
I think a quarterback situation is a good one. We didn't see as much playing time by McNair, but he was impressive on his throw. For Strasburg, I think they're going to be better than some expected. The Smoot brothers are, a force to be reckoned with. I think their inexperienced players will get better, and I was impressed by number 33. I thought he was a really tough runner, Colton Funk, and we just saw the run. And here's that play that we talked about, that when we ran it back.
89-yard interception return. Again, our plays of the game brought to you by Harrisonburg Nissan. Unleash excitement and savings. Certainly some excitement there, an 89-yard interception return. That closed the scoring in the first half. That was by Jarek Deal, an 89-yarder, and that made it 35-6 at halftime. And like I said, a score each team in the second half, and our final 42-14 East Rockingham. So we'd loved having you with us. I'm Jay Crawford saying goodnight for Coach Jack Hale and Bridget Condon, our sideline reporter, and we'll see you next week at telemediaproductions.com.